When we follow the stories of underdog nations qualifying for the World Cup, we move from the smallest, Curaçao, to another tiny island with an equally inspiring tale. When you think of World Cup giants, who comes to mind? Brazil, Germany, Argentina, nations with hundreds of millions of people, multi-billion-dollar leagues, and a history of lifting that golden trophy. So, how on earth did a tiny island nation in the Atlantic, with a population smaller than most cities and a football history written on dusty, forgotten pitches, achieve the impossible? How did they emerge from total obscurity to stand on the world's biggest stage? This is the story of Cape Verde, a necklace of 10 volcanic islands off the coast of West Africa. It's the story of the Blue Sharks and how a nation of just over 500,000 people took on a continent, shattered every expectation, and built a team that made history. For most of their history, Cape Verdean football was a story of passion, but not results. After gaining independence from Portugal in 1975, the new nation played its first official match in 1978. The Football Federation was founded in 1982 and joined FIFA in 1986, but for decades, that was pretty much it. On a global scale, they weren't even a footnote. They were a team you'd only find if you scrolled to the very bottom of the FIFA rankings. The challenges were immense: a tiny population, hardly any money, and an infrastructure that couldn't compare to African powerhouses like Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, and Egypt. The country's most famous footballing names, like former Manchester United star Nani or World Cup winner Patrice Evra, were players with Cape Verdean roots who chose to play for European giants. For the islands, playing in a major tournament wasn't just a dream, it was a fantasy. Qualifiers were something to participate in, but never to truly compete. Disappointment was the norm. In the qualifiers for the 2014 World Cup, they secured an incredible 2-0 victory over Tunisia that should have sent them to the final playoff round. But it was all snatched away. They had fielded a suspended player, and the result was overturned. It was a devastating blow that summed up their journey perfectly. So much heart, so close, yet always so far. So what changed? How does a team go from being the eternal underdog to a feared opponent? The answer wasn't found on the islands. It was found all over the world. Cape Verde has a truly unique history. While just over 500,000 people live on the islands, it's estimated that nearly the same number live abroad. Entire generations have built lives in Portugal, France, the Netherlands, and the United States, all while maintaining deep cultural ties to their homeland. This global community, scattered by history and necessity, would become the national team's secret weapon. The Federation knew that to compete, they had to think bigger. They launched a revolutionary project to build a team not just with the people at home, but with their entire global family. They started scouting players in European leagues, professionals with Cape Verdean heritage but trained in world-class academies. The strategy was a game changer. Suddenly, the player pool wasn't a few thousand amateurs, but a global network of talent. European-born players, who might have been on the fringe of their birth country's national teams, were given a powerful new calling: to play for the land of their parents. One of the best examples is defender Roberto Pico Lopes. Born and raised in Dublin, Ireland, he received a message on LinkedIn from the head coach in 2019 asking him to play for the Blue Sharks. He thought it was spam. Today, he is a vital part of their defense. But it wasn't just about recruiting. It was about forging an identity. Coach Pedro Bubista Brito, who took charge in 2020, made human connection his core philosophy. He focused on finding players who were truly committed to Cape Verde in their hearts, creating a team bound by a shared cultural pride that no distance could break. With the Diaspora fueling the team, belief began to grow. But it was in 2013 that the world first took notice. For the first time in their history, Cape Verde qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations. Nobody gave them a chance, but they stunned everyone, drawing with the hosts, South Africa, and the giant Morocco, before a last-minute goal against Angola sent them to the quarterfinals. Though Ghana eliminated them, the islands celebrated as if they'd won the whole thing. A new standard had been set. They qualified again in 2015 and 2021, proving 2013 was no fluke. But it was at the 2023 AFCON where the Blue Sharks proved they were a real force. Drawn in a group with Titans Ghana and Egypt, everyone predicted they'd finish last. Instead, they finished first. They beat Ghana with a dramatic injury time goal and secured a hard-fought draw against Egypt. They won their next match before being knocked out in a heartbreaking penalty shootout in the quarterfinals, having not conceded a single goal from open play in that match. The message was loud and clear. Cape Verde was no longer there just to participate. They were there to win. All that struggle, all that drive, was leading to this, the 2026 FIFA World Cup. With more spots available for African nations, the timing was perfect. Cape Verde entered the qualification campaign not just with hope, but with real belief. They were drawn into a brutal group with African royalty like Cameroon, plus Angola and Libya. But under Bubista's masterful guidance, the Blue Sharks rose to the challenge. They turned their home stadium into a fortress built on a rock-solid defense and led by the goals of veteran heroes like Ryan Mendes. They battled through a campaign of incredible pressure, securing massive results and topping their group ahead of the powerhouse, Cameroon. On October 13th, 2025, they beat Eswatini 3-0, and the impossible happened. Cape Verde had officially qualified for the World Cup for the first time in their history. The dream was no longer a dream. It was real. A nation united across islands and oceans, from Praia to Lisbon to Boston, celebrated a victory that was decades in the making. The story of Cape Verde is a modern football fairy tale. It's a blueprint for every underdog team that dreams of glory. They have completely redefined what it means to be a footballing nation, proving that strength isn't measured by population size or wealth, but by unity, heart, and the power of a global family. This is more than just a sports story. It's a story about identity, passion, and what can happen when you refuse to give up. It's a message to every small nation that your place in the world isn't decided by your size, but by the scale of your dreams. Cape Verde has already won something more powerful than a trophy. It has earned the right to stand shoulder to shoulder with the giants, and it has earned the belief that it belongs there. The journey to the World Cup was a miracle, but now the biggest chapter is about to be written. How do you think the Blue Sharks will do on the biggest stage of all? Let us know in the comments. And if you love this story, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more incredible football journeys from nothing to glory.
Every legend starts somewhere. Two worlds, one game, infinite dreams. Yet 99% of talent is never discovered. From nothing to glory isn't just content, it's a movement. 23,000 smart fans, 50 countries, one family. Your journey from nothing to glory starts now. From nothing to glory, where legends are born.